guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Kate Arnell. I hope you're well. Today's video is a little bit of a latest favourites video, but firstly I want to say I'm so sorry I haven't uploaded in a flippin' long time. Things have just been going on, not bad things, all good things, just my time management skills are terrible and I've been trying to make a few routine changes. So normally I work late into the night because that's when my mind becomes alive. But I've been trying to get into a new routine, going to bed around 10 o'clock in the evening, sometimes 9:30. The trouble is I just really struggle to work during the day. I don't know what it is, but my mind just finds its flow from about 10 p.m. onwards. So there's that. The keyboard on my laptop has decided to stop working along with the mouse pad, which I think might be due to a swollen battery. So that's been fun. And then also been doing a few speaking engagements and some events, and I've had some articles to write, and suddenly just like the weeks have flown by. So I feel really bad that I've neglected YouTube a little bit lately, but hopefully that's the end of that and I'm back with you. That's enough about me ranting on with excuses and my poor time management skills, as in there are no skills. That's not what you came onto YouTube for, is it? You're here to find something entertaining, something thought-provoking. But I'm not sure today's video is going to tick any of those boxes, but it is a latest favourites video, which I've been meaning to film for flipping ages. So let's crack on. Actually, before we start, I want to make one quick little announcement. I am doing Walk for Waste Aid this Saturday. I'm really hoping I've managed to upload this video before Saturday. But basically, I'll put a link in the info box below. It's a Just Giving page. If you fancy sponsoring me, I'll be walking 25 kilometres across London, covering, I think it's something like 16 or 17 bridges, and it's basically helping to bridge the recycling gap. So Waste Aid is a charity that works with low-income communities in poorer parts of the world, and it trains them up in simple recycling techniques, which not only stops plastic entering into the local environment and to the oceans, it also provides jobs to those local communities. And whilst recycling isn't the answer, we certainly have to deal with prevention rather than cure. It's definitely something that is needed as part of the system and will help to reduce a lot of plastic from entering our oceans if we can properly recover the materials instead of just dumping them or burning them. And basic recycling facilities are something I definitely take for granted here in the UK. So I wanted to do a little walk. I've teamed up with Catherine, who runs Unpackaged, which was like the original zero waste shop back in the day, and she now works with Planet Organic. So if you go to Planet Organic, you will see an unpackaged section in there most likely. So I'm teaming up with her, and also Zero Waste Life are a sort of community group of zero wasters in London. I've met one or two of them before. They're a really nice bunch. So yeah, we're going to be doing a walk. I think there's a whole bunch of other people doing it as well. So if you're going to be on the walk, I will see you there. But if you can't and you want to contribute towards the amazing work that Waste Aid are doing, then please click through on the Just Giving link in the info box and donate whatever you can. Any donation will be hugely appreciated. So that's enough of me hustling for money for a good cause. Let's crack on with today's latest favourites video. Alright. So first up, actually, I want to say this. I've been bitten on my face there and on my arms in 2 places, and then there's one just around my butt cheek. So if you're seeing some weird little lumps and bumps on my face, I'm not infectious. Don't panic. I just got bitten by a whole squad of mosquitoes last night. Hashtag summer. So I'm going to O-pen this video with my new pen. New to me. It's actually a second-hand pen, and in fact it's my husband's old school pen, which is just like an old Parker pen, and I bought a converter. You can get specific ones for Parker pens, so I bought a converter, which basically means I can refill this pen. I don't ever have to change that bit. And I also found some ink when we were last down in Cornwall at this adorable little shop, and the ink is made from the gall of an oak tree. I think I've got that right. It's basically nature's ink, and it comes in this little glass bottle with a cork stopper, and then she used some melted beeswax to seal it, and it's kind of got a bluey-ish tint to it. It's really nice. So all you have to do is put this into the ink and then twist the top bit of the converter, and it just draws the ink up into this chamber here. And then that's it, you're good to go. And I don't have to carry the ink around with me all the time, but if I was going away for a long time and I knew I was going to be doing a lot of writing, then I would take it with me. But basically, day to day, I only take this around and make a few notes in a little notebook, and yeah, I maybe refill it once every couple of weeks. I was very close to buying like an actual fountain pen that came with the converter inside. In the end, I thought, no, I'm going to see if my husband has an old one knocking around in his old school kit, and he did. I have donated a bunch of my old like biros to a friend who has a shop that's a consignment shop, and everything is sort of handwritten. Every description of every item of clothing that comes in is handwritten, so they get through a lot of pens. So I donated a lot of my old pens that needed using up to her. Also, Terracycle do a recycling program. They've teamed up with Bic, the pen makers, and you can go on their website and find out locations near to you that take pens for recycling as part of the Bic program, which could be another option if you're having a bit of a clear out and you're like, hey, I got too many pens here, what am I gonna do? You can go on there and find a place to drop them off, because I don't know about you guys, but I found I only need like 1 or 2 pens. It's just remembering to put them back in the same place so I know where to find them. That's the key. That's the key. And not losing them. So I've mostly been using this to write a few notes in my notebook, but also to write letters to companies whose packaging I think needs improving upon. So if I've got something where I'm like, I want to send this back to them, I'm not happy that I had to annoyingly get a bit of extra plastic in my life, I will write them a letter, and I've been using this to get scribbling. Next up, it's these little munchkins. They're called beauty cubes, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm a bit of a fan of these. So it's like a shampoo bar, but not, if you get my drift. The clue is in the title. They're cubes. They're in cube form. That's what they look like. So cute. So you basically just take one into the shower with you and add some water, and it starts to crumble, and then work it through your hair, and it just starts to foam up, and it's very enjoyable to use. And crucially, when I wash it out or rinse it out, there's no residue, which is often a big issue with shampoo bars. Don't know if you guys have noticed the same, especially if you live in London. But the hard water here and shampoo bars can be a bit of an interesting combination. So these are just brilliant, and I can actually get away with not always using a apple cider vinegar rinse or a conditioner. I can just use these sometimes. Not always. I do like to use something to just, you know, reset the pH balance of my hair, like I know what I'm talking about. So they're handmade in Cornwall, and if you're struggling with a shampoo bar and you can't get some sort of shampoo refill near you, these could be a really great option. You can also order little 2 cube samples, so if you're not sure, you can just buy 2 cubes, give them a go and see how you get on with them. But I've been super impressed with these. So they use a lot of organic ingredients, they're sulfate free, vegan friendly, 100% plastic free, biodegradable and cruelty free. Hooray! And it's great to see another business go plastic free. So the parent company, Eve of St Agnes, who created Beauty Cubes, they decided to go plastic free earlier this year with their current product range, which is things like body creams and face creams. So they moved away from plastic to recyclable metal tins, and then they developed Beauty Cubes as well. So it's really exciting to see more businesses going plastic free. Which reminds me, these are actually available on a new website called Acala, which sells a really great collection of plastic-free health and beauty products. And I am the resident zero waste guru, expert, enthusiast, call me what you want, but I'll be on there over the next few months sharing some tips and tricks on things you can do to be a little less wasteful in your personal care routine. So I'll link these and Acala as well in the info box below if you want to check them out. Next are a couple of documentaries which I've just loved watching. The first is Seed, the Untold Story, which I'd been meaning to watch for quite some time and then finally got around to doing it recently, and my goodness, it's a beautiful documentary. I loved it so much I got my husband to sit down and watch it with me, so I watched it again basically. He welled up, I got quite teary. It's just beautifully shot with a lot of information, and it covers everything sort of regarding our relationship with seeds and how it's changed so much, and how certain corporations are abusing that relationship. Basically, if you want a good documentary and you don't mind paying for it, sadly it's not on Netflix, you can get it from Amazon, but I think it's like £4 or less, £3.50, something like that, or you can buy it from the actual website that hosts it. So I'll put those in the info box below if you do want to watch it. I would highly recommend it. The second documentary is called The Vanishing of the Bees. Now this is kind of old, it's almost 10 years old, this documentary, and it's narrated by Ellen Page, the actress, and I've been meaning to watch it again for quite some time and managed to find it, I think it was on YouTube somewhere, I think. And it's just a fascinating insight into the world of bees and why they might be declining. So it looks at all different sorts of possibilities. I learned quite a bit from this documentary, and I thought I was already kind of hot on the topic. Like, I knew about the commercial bee industry and how bees are basically transported very long distances to pollinate things like the almond groves in February, and then onto the apple orchards and another time of the year. It's basically a lot of bees from all over the country coming to one spot. There's a lot of potential disease, and there are a lot of pesticides, and there's not a lot of food for the bees because it's basically a monocrop. They're just eating the blossoms from the almond trees. I didn't know that much about colony collapse disorder. So if you want to learn a little bit more about bees, which I think we all need to learn a little bit more about bees, then definitely watch that documentary, The Vanishing of the Bees. Also, I am going on not one, but two sort of mini beekeeping day courses very soon, and yeah, I'll try and film some of it and let you know how it goes. Hopefully I won't get stung. I've never been stung by bees, so we'll see. I was recently sent this book, Nurture, Notes and Recipes from Daylesford Farm, and it's written by their founder, Carol Bamford, and I've been a huge admirer I have been a huge admirer of her, is what I was trying to say, for quite some time. And there was this lovely handwritten message on the inside which just made me feel really cool. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful book that has got not only recipes from the farm but also how they farm. They are an incredible organic farm, and also why they've chosen to do things a certain way, and it's just filled with beautiful pictures. That's what their farm shop looks like on the farm. Oh, it's just such a beautiful book. So as you guys know, I love Daylesford. I do a lot of my weekly grocery shopping there because so much of it is seasonal, local and unpackaged, and their butcher's counter has been really cool with me bringing my own tins. They have now started selling those tins as well because people keep asking me, oh, where did you get your tins from, when I'm at the butcher's counter, which is awesome. So they're now selling them, and they also have a whole bunch of other reusables. They've made a promise to go zero waste, and they've already started changing a lot of their packaging. And they've been brilliant at sort of putting up little signs saying, please bring your own container, get a discount if you bring your own coffee cup, and reusables for takeaway food, etc. So yeah, I'm a big fan of what these guys do, what they stand for, and Carol Bamford has written just this most gorgeous book, which, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find myself reading cookery books like actual books sometimes because they've got so much awesome information inside. And I'm actually really looking forward to, there was a recipe that I saw in here. I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to give that a go. Where was it? This is one of my favourite recipes. So they actually serve this in their restaurant, which is all certified organic, by the way. The venison ragu with pappardelle, and it's so good. It's one of my favourite autumn winter dishes. Ooh, oxtail stew with mash and cabbage. That sounds amazing. I actually can't remember if I've said it on this channel before, but I've definitely written about it on my blog, that I basically want to start incorporating more offal into what we eat. So I have started buying things like chicken kidneys and livers, and I've bought some oxtail, but I've mostly just used it in like bolognese and stuff like that, so it would be nice to try something different with it. So yeah, I'm all about the offal right now. And I'm also thinking about doing a little video series on here called Awfully Good, which will basically just be recipes with offal in them. But it's something I want to talk about more and sort of delve into a bit more. I think it's a really underused section of food that we should be using, and it's super nutritious and cheap as well, and damn tasty, I will say that. Ooh, panna cotta with poached rhubarb, blood orange and ginger. Ooh, okay, I'll start salivating. Just look at that picture, isn't that beautiful? Bluebells down on the farm. Oh, it's my spiritual home, I'm sure of it. And on the subject of food, The Source Bulk Foods is my next favourite. It's basically London's latest bulk shop. It's based in Turnham Green, and it's a franchise of the Australian well-known brand The Source Bulk Foods. It has so many awesome things, from kombucha on tap to organic grains, pulses, seeds, nuts, teas, coffees, herbs. They also have a great selection of like sweets and chocolates and treats. A lot of them are organic as well, which is brilliant. And yeah, just some difficult to find items like locally sourced British honey. They have that in bulk, which for me is like gonna, because that's something I've really struggled to find. So previously I was just buying that in a glass jar with a metal lid, but now I'm delighted that I can actually buy it from bulk in a refill. If you get a chance to go and visit The Source Bulk Foods, I would say go and take plenty of reusables like cloth bags, containers with you, because there is a lot to choose from. Next up is a thing I've been meaning to do for some time, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it now that I've finally started doing it, and it's fermenting cabbage, making sauerkraut and some sort of crouchy kimchi. It's not proper kimchi, but it's basically a bunch of whatever I've got left over and put into a jar and pickled, and it's flipping easy. So I thought, instead of me trying to make some sort of haphazard video, because I'm still quite amateur at it and don't know all of the ins and outs, I thought it would be much better to just link to a couple of videos that I used as guidance and found really useful when making my first batches of sauerkraut. And I have a couple of books by Sandor Katz, the kind of sauerkraut king, and I've been using Wild Fermentation, which is one of his books, the most. I've been buying sauerkraut in a glass jar with a metal lid, and I was like, I wonder if I could actually make a decent version of this and it can replace having to buy the jar. So I have managed to make it successfully, and I'm just so chuffed with myself. And as you guys know, I love sort of learning to make these things from scratch, so it just sort of fills my cup, or my canning jar I should say, fills my canning jar. Oh, itchy arm. Oh, mosquitoes, you suck. Next up are these secondhand shorts, which I foraged from a recycling bin. So I was invited to a fabric recycling facility in North London as part of Fashion Revolution Week, and I was able to basically choose up to 3 items that kind of were still good to wear. But I went in with a sort of list in my head of 1 or 2 things I was like, I definitely need that. So if I find that, I will take it, but otherwise don't go home with anything. And luckily enough, shorts were on my list, and I found this pair of really lovely kind of safari style shorts. They're high-waisted, they have a like kick-out shape which sort of suits my body shape, and yeah, I really like them, and it's finally shorts weather, hooray! So I kind of love that not only are they secondhand and they're stylish, but I actually had to dig them out of a recycling bin to get them. Next up, it's a little bit of a cleaning hack from your resident domestic goddess. Oh yeah. So if you remember in the video that I filmed, I want to say about a year ago, it was called Zero Waste Cleaning Kit or something along those lines, and I mentioned in it how citric acid was one of those things that I kind of had but didn't really use. It sort of sat under my sink, but sort of just in case I want to try making my own DIY recipes. But anyway, I've since started using it to make DIY dishwasher powder, which has been brilliant. But I recently read in a very old book that had been sitting on my shelf for a while about green household management that you can use it to clean your loo. And we'd gotten to a point, this might be TMI, so apologies in advance, but we'd gotten to the point where it was like, we really need something to kind of remove those stains on the inside of the bowl. So I sprinkled in some citric acid, left it overnight, and then gave it a quick scrub with the loo brush the next day, and it was amazing. It basically removed all stains and it was like having a new loo. I was so impressed. So I felt like I wanted to share that little kind of zero waste cleaning hack with you guys, because so often I've been trying bicarbonate of soda and vinegar and I was like, it's kind of doing it but not really that well. Whereas citric acid has worked a treat. So yeah, I know what you're going to be doing Friday night now, hey? And my final favourite is Wimbledon Common. I have sort of rediscovered just how beautiful it is recently. So my husband and I have been going there on the weekends and enjoying sort of strolls, and it's just so nice and peaceful, and it really takes you out of the city and makes you feel like you're in the middle of the wilderness somewhere. There are beautiful trees, lots of wildflowers, lots of wildlife, and for so long I had thought of Wimbledon Common as being just the flat bit of land at the front, but it goes way back into sort of forested, wooded areas with lakes and ponds, and there's even a natural spring in there which I found via a website called findaspring.com, and yes, I filled it up with my reusable water bottle and drank from it. We started going there regularly at the weekends just to kind of enjoy a bit of outdoorsiness, and I love a good walk. I love a bit of feeling like I'm in the countryside, so it ticks a lot of boxes for me without having to actually travel too far. We just hop on the bus and away we go. And I take a book, we take a little sort of, not really a picnic because I'm not that prepared, but more of a sort of few light bites in some cloth bags. If you get a chance, if you're in London, definitely go and check out Wimbledon Common. Richmond Park is also beautiful. It has a lot of deer and again a lot of wildlife, and that's huge. But there's something about the kind of foresty vibe on Wimbledon Common that I absolutely love. So there you go guys, thanks so much for watching. Those are just some of my latest favourites. I've got quite a few videos lined up, so hopefully it won't be quite so long before the next video is on this channel. As I said, everything will be linked in the info box below, and also if you do fancy sponsoring me on my little walk through London, it's not really a little walk, it's a big walk, it's a 25-kilometre walk through London for Waste Aid, then I would hugely appreciate you clicking that link and sponsoring me. Thank you in advance. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up button, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Ooh, the bird is on our balcony again. We've got this little bird. She's a little black bird who comes down and pinches the worms from an open bit of soil that I've got out there. It's adorable.